5:30 p.m. Monday, August 14th. I will call the Motley work session meeting to order. Looks like all are present, council and department heads. So with that, Region 5 presentation.
Yes. Well, I didn't bring very many visuals today, but what I do have for you is just an announcement that we did receive the grant for energy efficiency for the city of Motley. So we made the announcement with a small group of people a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure how many of you have been working closely with BJ Allen, but she got the announcement while she was on leave, so she of course had to send us an email, and then we just hit the ground running. So for those of you that don't know very much about the grant opportunity, it's through Department of Energy. It will pay partially for staff time. I believe it's about a $5,000 set aside for staff time for the city of Motley staff. And then the rest of that, about $15,000 worth of the project, is for energy upgrades, energy efficiency upgrades. So what the team here needs to do is a little bit of brainstorming, if you haven't already done so. Region 5 will be coordinating an energy auditor and putting out some bids. So we just need to know how many sites that energy auditor will be looking at. So we can get a good proposal together, and if we do this project well, we're in phase 1 right now, hopefully we can move on to phase 2 with some more potential grant dollars. So I welcome any questions, and any questions I can't answer, I'll for sure send them along to BJ. Were there any potential sites that you for sure wanted to look at as we're looking at energy auditors?
Was that the list of all the buildings around?
To BJ?
I think she sent it.
Yeah, I sent them all to BJ.
Perfect.
And to Greg from
I don't remember.
From Apex?
From Minnesota.
Oh, got it.
Well, Lisa Tata, yeah, she read about
She
it.
needs something out
So that's what right now we're looking like. It's going to be all buildings that we'll do audits for, just to kind of cover the bases. Okay.
Yeah, wonderful.
I don't think I had any.
She's up here.
Yeah, I don't think I had any other lingering questions or anything. Just very exciting that we were able to partner and hopefully check this project off and maybe get some other ones under our belt too.
Fantastic, thank you. Moving on, city code updates, letter A, THC ordinance, pages 1 through 10.
Thanks, Candace. Thanks.
Thank you. So Darcy, if I understood it correctly, you kind of took what the state kind of gave out and then added in a bit of our local.
I looked at
needs or
some
wishes.
other cities and kind of meshed them together and made my own thing. Then I sent it to the attorney to review, so her comments and stuff are in red. So I just mainly need to know if there's any changes you want to make, and then I think there are a couple decisions we had to make. Our tobacco license goes from July 1st to June 30th, so I don't know if we want to make this go with that. Like on page 4, line F, it's for what the term is. So that's something we need to decide. And her comment was, what if someone applies for a license, halfway through the year? Or to the end of the year. Our liquor license goes from January 1st to December 31st, but I think, or maybe it's a month off. But
Which one did you say runs from June to, or July to June?
is the tobacco license. So figure we might want to just kind of lump it with that.
Proximity was something that
Yeah, so that
seems to
one,
be the concern with cities
yeah.
regarding where they're located. To places where they have the no use laws and clauses already in place.
I suppose I can. So yeah, I don't know if you want to go with what she had written and just kind of stick with that. I had asked her, you know, do we want to do it since we don't have a school right now? And she said it wouldn't be a bad idea to keep it in there in case anything ever changes, so. Do you want to go with her recommendation on that one?
I think that looks good.
I had yes in my notes.
I'd like to know, is there any way to map out where a possible business could be? I mean, it's 300 feet within any of these, so, I mean, would I be able to, can I do that myself and just, Motley isn't that big, so our business district is,
Yeah,
so if we're going from a park, would Ernie's Converse Park be considered a public sports field then?
Mhm.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be able to be.
That would be my question, so.
Yeah, I think we could probably use weekend and.
Is that 300 feet from what you found pretty, what other cities are doing? Are they having discussions about ordinance?
I want to say the 300 feet I probably got from Staples,
Okay,
their ordinance. She suggested 500 feet, I think, in the attorney's comment. I can try to find that and then I'll send that out. But otherwise, the 1,000 feet from a school or 500 feet from any of the things listed. And then did you want to do it with the tobacco license? We'll keep it with that.
Yeah,
And
made sense to me.
And then if somebody like applies for one in May or April or something, do we wanna?
What happens with the tobacco?
Oh, that one is in here also.
Probably haven't had that in a long time, I would think. Not really anybody new that's come to town.
We've actually had two recently because the gas station sold and then one barbecue
changed hands.
smokehouse. Yeah.
Okay.
So that kind of counts.
But it's been a couple of years.
I think we didn't end up charging them a fee when they switched it over for the remaining period, is what we did with the tobacco license. I kind of tried to follow around what Kurt did with the smokehouse. Switched them over, but we didn't charge them a fee for the rest of that year, but then they re-upped with everybody else. So that was a little different, but, because we'd already collected.
Couldn't we just prorate it?
We could,
Well, that makes sense.
That would make more sense to me.
I like that idea.
okay, I'll add something in there for that.
Yeah.
question was page 7 through the age verification, if you guys want to leave it at 30. She said she recommends leaving it at 30.
I'll go with the attorney.
Then I'll probably remove that section that the attorney pointed out farther down there. Otherwise, I think that was all the questions for the THC one to answer. Does anyone have any questions or comments or concerns about that?
No, the violations were, that's pretty standard
Yeah.
in how they were printed.
Yep.
On page
That was
89.
exactly how I found it on a lot of
Right.
other cities, and then that's what the attorney said. And I think she kind of changed the tobacco one to fit more like that.
Okay.
Yeah, then the tobacco one was very out of date. We still had, it said 18 years old to be able to smoke, so. It was very out of date. So yeah, then on page 14, I recommend changing that one to where it says July 1st to June 30th instead of it says for 1 calendar year. But we've always done it from July 1st to June 30th. So I'd make that change. I can get rid of the sections she said isn't required. Then she added a bunch of stuff. On page 19, there's a section where she said this can be decided by the council. Citation is upheld by the hearing officer. The city's actual expenses in holding the hearing up to a maximum of $1,000 must be paid by the person requesting the hearing. So I think that's on per basis kind of thing. And then, yeah, that next page, on page 20 is where she redid the penalties for that one, because we were out of date on that as well. So if you guys don't have any questions or anything on that, I'll probably make all those changes, bring it to the council meeting in September.
Thank you for all your work on that one, Darcy.
I don't know if anybody else has any updates on the rental housing or, yeah, those two ordinances. I can't think of what the other one is called right now. The licensing.
Construction, or the carpenter,
Yeah.
yeah.
So 162 or 163, if anyone has any updates on where that's at. I know you guys were talking about it in planning and zoning. Or if you guys are still just working on it and we got nothing to talk about.
We'll be meeting tomorrow
Okay.
with Jake, and I think we can finalize.
Talking about it again. Okay. Sounds good. And then I included all of the changes to the personnel manual so far. The attorney is currently looking at it, and I'm sure with all these changes that have been made, with the new laws, there'll probably be more changes that need to be made. I'm still unsure about the sick and safety time. kind of a big topic of discussion right now. Because as it sits, council members get sick and safety time. If you guys have any opinions on the sections I talked about adding. I was kind of just comparing our policy to the League of Minnesota's policy, and those are some things they had that we didn't, so.
I thought the call-outs was direct, simple to understand, and the other additions were, as I saw them on the Minnesota League of Voters, so it made sense to have them. And kind of be like everybody else.
Anybody else have any opinions? Should we add in any of these extra sections I talked about, or leave as is?
Some of them you, what you're asking, your side note here is if we want to approve it all at once or wait until the next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm sorry, wait for the attorney's changes and approve all at once. Is that what you're asking?
Well, first I'm asking, in my notes I put sections I think we should consider adding.
Mm-hmm.
If we should add those, or you guys just want to leave it as is. And then, yeah, if we want to approve what I have so far tonight, or if we just want to wait until the September meeting when the attorney has reviewed it. Depends on when you guys want some of this to go into effect, like the call-out time.
Well, 7.91 regarding work time for nursing mothers is required by state law, so that one's gotta go in.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, changing the date on smoking and tobacco makes that one just read correctly and legally to get away from age, the 18.
So there's no minimum call-outs anymore?
As how they discussed it, no, it wouldn't be a minimum, it would just be a time and a half.
The only reason I ask is because it just came up last week, was it, when that kids ended up in the
It was
water?
last Sunday, yeah.
Last Sunday? Got an alarm at the door, it was open the little water plant, they had kind of went in there, poked around, couldn't find anybody, went up on the roof, and they were up on the roof. Got in,
Wow.
go I come in for 10 minutes, and yeah, get out of bed and come in for 10 minutes and check the door.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
So if we're changing it
for
the
$5,
way,
or
yeah,
whatever it
it's
is,
written, he gets time and a half for that 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So do we want to leave it at just time and a half, or still have a minimum of 2-hour call-out?
Normally, it wouldn't be a thing, but normally don't come into the short break, this was kind of like.
You
so
can't.
maybe we should define what emergency situations are? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Well, I'm just saying, yeah,
I think there should be a minimum.
that's what I'm wondering, I mean, it's not like we're taking advantage of it, but it's just something like that comes up. It's
Yep.
like-
Yeah, to get out of bed at 11 o'clock at night to come yell at some kids for 10 minutes and go home.
Chase them out there.
Should there be a minimum of an hour, and that hour's at time and a half?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, it's something, I mean, it's just an idea. It's something I had to consider until that happens.
Usually when you gotta figure, right, it usually lends to the new discussion.
So are you saying that 1 hour it would Looking at time and a half?
So a minimum of an hour,
Yeah.
and that hour is time and a half, and then it's time and a half for actual hours after.
Yep. It's creative use of the roof.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, up here?
Yeah, well,
That was what they asked me.
if we didn't have a sign, how are they supposed to know?
There's a sign in yours that says no one.
Do not enter.
Yeah. Authorized personnel only. it says. Yeah. Red signs.
How many stories up is that?
Oh, they took the ladder on the inside, so. It can't be 1.5 stories. Yeah.
Oh, probably no bugs.
So Darcy, on page 79, you have 5 departments and it should be 4. Second paragraph.
Page 79.
Oh yeah, that, we're not to that part yet.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it said.
I know, I looked.
Oh, 78. Never mind.
Yeah, and no, that was one of the changes that need to be made, because that is not correct from the previous version. But yeah, so I'll make that change. Do we want to add in this performance reviews, cellular phone use, or employee recruitment and selection? Or do you guys just want to leave it as is? I'm just looking at this one.
I'm looking over all this still, so. Which page was that, Darcy?
Well, it's just from my notes. I didn't actually draft these yet. These are just suggestions. Since I'm revamping it anyway. I was just comparing it to the League of Minnesota Cities when I was going through and fixing everything, and those were 3 things that they had that we didn't. So I'm just wondering if you guys want to add them or not.
Cellular phone use, it's wise that the employees understand that they're, whether it's personal or not, they're subject to. So that's just more of a personnel hiring HR notification, so that one I think should go in.
And I think for the performance reviews, it'd be nice to have it in the manual,
The performance.
so it's easy for them to find, the employee to find.
Starts right there. Continuous. Oh, I fell off. So just add the performance reviews and cellular phone use?
So this recruitment and selection, you're saying add that to the personnel policy?
Yeah,
manual?
the League of Minnesota Cities have that section in there, so.
Oh, okay.
have their sample manual right there if you guys want to look at any of them. Yeah, this is the employee recruitment section.
So we currently don't have a procedure, is that what you're saying, written?
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Eliminates any questions.
So if you guys are okay with that, I'll just kind of draft something up for those three. And next meeting, you guys can decide.
So you have in here, Darcy, for the holiday pay for Sarah, if we don't approve this tonight, correct?
Yeah, just because Labor Day is gonna happen between now and then.
So what if we approve the Labor Day holiday pay for Sarah and then approve the call-out pay?
You could do that.
We can just do those two?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were changing the call pay, or adding that.
Yeah, so you would wanna, whoever makes the motion would wanna make sure that the minimum of an hour, you know, as it's presented with the minimum of an hour added.
When she's set to work 28 hours, is she, what's the word? Can she
Eligible?
have holiday pay?
Yeah, so it would be, how I wrote it is it's gonna be holiday pay if it's a day she'd normally have worked, and then she'll get paid for the amount of hours she would have normally worked. So if it falls on like a Friday, she's not gonna get holiday pay because she doesn't normally work Fridays. If it falls on like a Wednesday, she'll get 7 hours because that's how long she usually works.
I guess I'm confused. What was it normally?
She didn't get anything. So we'd be closed on a Monday for a holiday, she just misses 7 hours. So.
So would she pick those 7 hours up at the end of the week, or she's
No,
just?
she has
out?
no way to pick up the 7 hours, so she can't
Gotcha.
really change her schedule around or anything. Any other questions on that then?
I just want to read through the 7.1 really quick, sorry. And the 7.1.
So would that be any holiday that fell during the week, work week?
Yeah, so any of the holidays listed. If it fell during her normal working hours.
Did we pay her June 19th? Okay.
Wait, no, not that, we started, I think, maybe we did Juneteenth was the first one we started, I think. Juneteenth and July 4th. She got those.
Because it fell on a work day.
Yep. But like, for example, the day after Thanksgiving is a paid holiday for us. She wouldn't get that one because it's always on a Friday and she doesn't normally work a Friday. But she'll get 7 hours for Thanksgiving because that's a normal day she works.
So do you need the motion here for Labor Day? And
No, it'll be during the regular meeting,
Okay.
yeah. This is
So it's
just,
on there?
yep, I left personnel policy on there,
Got it.
or manual on there. Are there any other questions about that? The last thing was the council liaison policy. And yeah, the one thing I did notice is that it says we have 5 departments, but we only have 4. So that's at least one change we have to make.
So the one question I had, just for clarification, bullet point 4, keep other council members informed by participating in monthly departmental reporting council meetings. Monthly department reporting at council meetings. What do you mean by that?
I did not write this. This is our already set policy, so
Oh, okay.
I don't know going back if they ever had these and they just stopped doing them or what.
It reads to me like it used to be the liaison that did what our department heads do at a council meeting. Like they didn't attend, the liaison gave their report.
That's how I read it. Or collaborative.
It's like you have lesser.
The attorney did that one.
So are we changing something in this one, Darcy, that we're bringing it up?
You guys wanted to look at it and
Oh.
review it again this meeting. Or I had requested it, I guess, that we would review it. So everyone was kind of supposed to read it and we're supposed to talk about it again.
So it should be changed to 4 departments. And I need to be assigned to one. I think the only change is this.
The way I see it is we're not following basically any of it.
We're not what?
Basically following any of the liaison policy.
No.
So, yeah.
Do any other cities that you know of have these liaison policies?
I think so, but I have not looked into it to see what theirs say or anything, but I'll say it's kind of common practice for them to have council liaisons.
For the sake of discussion, are they necessary?
You don't have to have
I mean,
them.
as I read through it, I can see where in the instance of someone being absent, the liaison can speak on behalf of the department with their report for the purpose of that evening's meeting.
Yep.
So what would happen if we didn't have this policy and the department head was absent?
Well, that's what I mean, like if we're not following this 2-page document, then there's more work to be done with what does it look like for us as a city. If this isn't how we're doing it, then this is pretty irrelevant and obsolete.
There was a time years ago where we were wondering, do you even need liaisons? And we thought we did, so
Yeah.
we're not following.
As department heads, what are your thoughts as having them? Are they helpful, not helpful?
I think the theory behind them is nice. I just don't think it's been necessarily what happens.
My previous one, I had, not even seen on the council, and I hadn't talked to him for several years. And if I did call, yeah, go ahead. Okay, after a while, I just didn't bother. You waste some time calling.
With the introduction of the work sessions, does that kind of eliminate, I mean, we seem to be moving forward with being able to discuss and having information presented, being proactive with getting things clear for the agenda. I mean, has this kind of taken place of what maybe the liaison role potentially would do?
Well, not necessarily, because this has to be public, and if we have something we want to, a concern or something we want to bring up, I think a liaison's good. We did change the personnel policy to say we bring our vacation requests to our liaison, so
Okay.
that's another responsibility. And I like the idea of having somebody to check in on and everything, it's just, like he said, he had one more, talked to him for years, so.
I think a lot of times it's potentially could save some time if there's a problem with a certain department. With the liaison, you can talk it out instead of bringing it cold to the
Exactly.
council.
Yeah, then at least one person knows.
Maybe save a month or so making a decision.
So personally, I think it's a good thing to have. It's just, I think we need to look at it and kind of reevaluate it.
I don't know, I found it beneficial, keeping in contact with Bruce, what's actually going on, where if I didn't, then, there's so many things I wouldn't know. And some of it's just the way the city functions. I think it's good, but I think it's also good that they rotate. That you don't stay with the same one year after year after year, so you can be more diverse.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that at all, but like you said, if you went and Nikki went over to see Bruce to get the feel of the water treatment plant, that's good, you know. And I haven't been, but stopped to see Darcy to anything that I need. You can do that without being the liaison for that department, so that's good to go see. Just so we know how everything, or get a general feel of how everything's working.
And I think it's good too for, you know, the rest of the employees too, that we tell them who their liaison is. So if they do have like a problem with, like if Sarah had a problem with me, she could go to Mike and talk to him about it. And it gives her a point of contact too. And like, yeah, Brian would be you, and I guess Jason has nobody now, but.
Well, I know Pat's been my liaison for the last 4 years, 4+ years, and I think we've always had an excellent working relationship. We check in with each other pretty much weekly and discuss various aspects of what's going on, and if I have a question or I want to bring something up, I can run it past him and see what he would think, how the council's going to look at it or feel about it before taking it to a meeting, or if he has suggestions of things I should do or things like that. To me, it seems very beneficial that way.
And I agree with him. I think it's been working good for us.
Okay.
So maybe we just need to revamp this, or?
Maybe, yeah. I think that would be good.
Are there examples through the League of Minnesota?
I'm not sure. I don't think I did.
And will I be added yet this year to a department, or will that start next year when we start to rotate? When is this rotation
That's a good
gonna
question.
take place? I know.
The first of the year meeting,
Okay.
typically, January.
That's usually when we set them, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Darcy, why don't you and I look into other examples or discuss this one and try and simplify or make this read like us.
Exactly.
Sounds good.
Homework. Okay. Anything else for the work session?
That's all I have.
Can you have 2 liaisons for one department?
Or is there a break between budget and HR out of the admin office? You know, is that one person or 2?
What, I don't understand.
Well, I mean, like, to be Darcy's liaison, I mean, you cover everything. Is it a case where one person deals more with the budgetary discussions, for example, and another person can deal with the HR discussions if needed?
It's a possibility.
Because we have 5 council members, we have 4 departments, so it's either somebody just steps out for a year, gets a year off, or we have to create a 5th role where there's 2, and 2 seems a little, to me that seems redundant, like that you're increasing communication between 3 people versus 2. That's just my take on it.
There's several ways that could
Mm-hmm.
be in place.
So Darcy will look into other small cities and see how they do it. Look at If nothing else, a motion to adjourn, or we just adjourn? No.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Brendan, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Pat, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:16 and a half. Oh, wow.